we have Dr. Nadir Ali. So he is a cardiologist. He's an interventional cardiologist from Texas, USA, known for his expertise in lipidology and metabolic health.
I'm from Andhra Pradesh. At least it was Andhra Pradesh when I left. Now it's Telangana. I'm from Hyderabad. I went to Gandhi Medical College. And then right after medical school, I've been in the US ever since. I've been here 38 years. Yeah, I looked at all your questions. They are some of the best questions anybody has ever posed to me. LDL, I would like to challenge that LDL is not a driver of coronary artery disease at all. I mean, that doesn't mean that it is not associated with it. Association doesn't mean causation. And I think if you tease out all the specific details about LDL, I would label LDL as a firefighter in preventing injury, in preventing the injury-related repair mechanisms that leads to atherosclerosis, rather than being an arsonist. It's not causing the fire. It is in there to repair the damage and help heal the injury-related aspects of vascular system. So to blame LDL as a cause and to think in a simplistic term that reducing LDL will reduce atherosclerosis is very naive and essentially wrong. So I'm not prepared to accept that LDL in any condition, like for example, small dense LDL in the setting of insulin resistance, in the setting of high triglycerides and low HDL, is actually causal in atherosclerosis. It's definitely associated with it, but saying that it is causal is going too far. So ApoB is the protein, is the apolipoprotein that is associated with an LDL molecule, but it is also associated with VLDL. So let's tease that out further. So as you know, cholesterol is a fatty substance that does not dissolve in water, and blood is aqueous. It is water in nature. Blood is water-based. So in order to carry fat, our body has developed these ingenious molecules which are called lipoproteins. So lipoproteins have a phospholipid bilayer on the outer coat, and there is a identifying protein for LDL, which is called the apolipoprotein B. And the inside of this lipoprotein, you have cholesterol, you have triglycerides and such. So apolipoprotein is the apolipoprotein B is the specific protein that is associated not just with LDL or LDL cholesterol, but it's also associated with VLDL cholesterol. So what is VLDL cholesterol? VLDL cholesterol is something that contains a large amount of fat as triglyceride. So it's triglyceride rich, cholesterol poor lipoprotein in the blood. So when your ApoB is high, it may be high because you have high LDL, but it's probably also high, not probably, but it's also high if you have high VLDL or have high triglycerides. So that's an important concept to recognize. Statins and PCSK9 inhibitors reduce the amount of ApoB, so they reduce the amount of triglycerides to a small degree. They reduce the LDL or cholesterol levels associated with LDL to a large degree, but they do it, in my opinion, the wrong way. So to give a one-liner answer, and I'll expand on that, the focus on ApoB is another little propaganda by the pharmaceutical industry to increase the use of statins and PCSK9 inhibitors. And it is essentially wrong, because if ApoB is high and your triglycerides are high, the best method to reduce the triglycerides is through the lifestyle that we all promote, which is a low-carb diet, which is physical exercise, which is fasting. The reason I'm against statins and PCSK9 inhibitors reducing the VLDL portion of triglycerides, I'm also against reducing the LDL portion of the ApoB, but the ApoB that's associated with VLDL is because it does it the wrong way. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that the statins and PCSK9 inhibitors, mostly PCSK9 inhibitors, increase the receptor, which is the VLDL receptor, on the liver, in the pancreas. So essentially, your liver is sucking up fat from the bloodstream and gets fatty liver. Essentially, your pancreas is sucking up fat from the bloodstream and it becomes fatty pancreas. So you get pancreatic dysfunction, you get fatty liver, you get visceral obesity. So you are essentially doing the wrong thing and looking at your blood work and saying, hey, my blood work is right and I'm getting healthy, whereas you're essentially getting unhealthy. So the right way to reduce triglycerides is very different. So I'm sorry, that was a long answer, but ApoB should never be used as a marker for improving your health, at least through statins and stuff.